This is probably a typical Father Larry homily here. Just, I feel like a broken record, but I'm fascinated by the historical phenomenon of Christianity. Let's say Judeo-Christianity. Just interesting. I'm fascinated by the divine activity, the plan of salvation for the whole human race, and who Jesus is. There's nothing more interesting than that that's ever happened in the history of the human race. So what's interesting to me is just the choice of the 12 apostles, this authority that they obviously have here that's on full display in the first council, ecumenical council here, the Council of Jerusalem in Acts chapter 15, where they decide on this question of circumcision for the Gentiles. Do they have to obey all the kosher dietary laws and ritual ablutions and the rest of it? Very important decision that our Lord left them to figure out, okay? That's interesting. He left this body, this authoritative body, to speak with authority. How could he do that? Because he's the Messiah. Ask the Jews. They don't believe he's the Messiah. But if he is the Messiah, the legitimate Messiah sent from God, that means he has authority. Ultimate authority to interpret Torah. That's how he makes these outrageous claims to say, Moses said to you, but I say to you. My goodness gracious. So yes, they think they ought to be having to obey the law of Moses. And the apostles are like, wait a minute here. You're going out and you're not from us. You don't have our mandate. How can the apostles say that? Because they've been given delegated authority by the Messiah, the Christ. They received a privileged formation, vastly superior to the learning of the Pharisees and Sadducees. Vastly superior to any of us. My 6 years in the seminary, I would throw that out in an instant to have 2 weeks with the Son of God walking around. You imagine they had 3 years living with the Son of God, soaking in his presence and in his teaching. Unprecedented, privileged access to the Son of God. So he made them his foundation stones, as we see in the book of Revelation here. They are the foundation stones. And I just love to reflect on this historical phenomenon. This happened. This ain't no man-made invention. They're over there right now. The, the parishioners on that pilgrimage. They left on Friday. They're probably stumbling around St. Peter's Square right now, all jet lag. And they're going to be looking up the facade of St. Peter's, those columns. They make these things look like toothpicks, you know. I mean, it's like the redwood forest. They're humongous. Can't even believe it till you get right up next to it. And you see the apostles, they're all lined up, giant statues. They don't look that big from a distance, you know, you look at it. If you got the stamina to go up that little spiral staircase all the way to the roof of the basilica, you can walk right up to them. I don't know how tall they are. Google it. I'm going to say 20 feet. I think they might be 20 feet. I mean, that's a lot. That's 20 feet right there, probably up to the top of that thing. I mean, these things are massive statues, all lined up along the facade of St. Peter's Basilica. These guys who had no notoriety in the world. They were just obscure guys, random dudes living around Galilee, whatever, dragging nets and chewing tobacco, you know, in a boat. I mean, like, what the heck? And then they're chosen, hand-selected by the Son of God. Awesome. Could they have ever dreamed or imagined that their effigies would be on top of this massive building in the capital of the empire of the world, in Rome one day. And that they would have parishes and schools and hospitals named after them all over the world. These knuckleheads, sorry, I don't mean to call them, that's wrong. But these simple guys, they're just like the rest of us. That's God's plan in divine choreography. He chose these guys for this pivotal role. Why? Because he's the Messiah. He can do that. And that's what he chose to do. So I love the Catholic faith. Starts with who Jesus is. The whole Old Testament was pregnant with his coming into this world. That absolutely fascinates me. And then he comes in, and now we are those believers who do the things he told us to do, the oils in that little birdhouse looking thing, and water here, and altar there, with bread and wine, the box over there where we forgive sins. All these things we do, the Son of God left us to do these things, and we do them because we're members of his body, believers in Jesus of Nazareth, the Son of God. This carpenter from Nazareth in Galilee, we're his disciples. 2,000 years later, and we're still relevant to the world. Yeah, anybody thinks the Catholic Church isn't relevant anymore? Why was the whole world staring at a chimney for like 48 hours? With some pigeons, hanging around. Because it's relevant. It's big time news. The whole world was fixed on this chimney. You saw it everywhere. They're just waiting for that thing to pop, the smoke, the white smoke, so we can get a pope. And we got a good one, by the way. I think all indications, early indications are we got a really good pope. I'm pretty stoked, according to my sources. And my informants have, so I don't pay that much attention to church politics, but I know who to talk to. And I think this pope's doing a great job so far. That's more divine choreography. God is still at work. So anybody that thinks the church isn't relevant or we're going away, we ain't going away. And the Son of God is integrally involved, just as he was when he walked around down here and always has been in church history. He's up there, the ultimate chief shepherd of the church. He's got his hand on the tiller. And all of us are caught up in this profound mystery of God's activity in the world and his saving plan that we call the church.